gain more. Or if you earn good grades in school, then your teacher will know you are the best student in your class. And who doesn't want to be the best? It feels so very good to be liked, doesn't it? And we can easily become addicted to that kind of rush. We can transfer that desire to be liked with our relationship with God. After all, the best way we know how to love God and receive God's love is through the relationship we have with those around us. I'm utterly convinced that another reason we think we can earn God's favor is that there's a little bit of us that would like to think we know better than God. Now, that's the sin of the Garden of Eden, after all. Adam and Eve did the one thing that God told them not to do. They had full reign over everything in the garden, but that one tree. And you know what they did? They ate from that one tree that God told them not to. So they did that. Adam and Eve thought in a way that they knew better than God. Now, we all suffer from that same sense of pride at times. For example, sometimes we know better than our doctor, who, when she gives us advice about our health, just like we know better than our best friend, who is giving us sound advice on how to handle a troubling situation. The doctor and our best friend are right, and we know this, but we just don't want to admit it, because their advice is hard to follow through. We like to be in control of our lives. Better yet, we like to think it is possible for us to be in control of every aspect of life. For many of us, I know for me, it's hard to let the reins down. Sometimes it's hard to relax. Sometimes it's difficult to, as American Idol winner and country singer Carrie Underwood says and sings, to let Jesus take the wheel. Or as Elsa sings in Frozen, to let it go. In order for us to let Jesus take the wheel and let it go, lower the reins, we need to be comfortable with not knowing most things about life, the world, and God, with not knowing the answers to the big questions. We need to be okay with asking more questions and coming up with answers. We need to be okay with the mysterious works of the Spirit in our midst, instead of the certainty of our own beliefs. You and I are not God. Newsflash, we're not God. I'm not God. You're not God. And if anyone of us thinks that we figured out life, then any one of us thinks we figured the Bible all out. If any one of us is under the impression that we know all that there is to know about God and faith in Christ, then we are honestly mistaken. And that's what Paul was getting at. A life that Christ presented was a new way of living that consisted of not so much of a to-do list, but more it was an invitation to live in rest and a deep love for God and for each other. The good news, and it is indeed good news, is that you and I can't earn God's love or favor because of what we do. I'm convinced one of the greatest sins of Christianity revolves around the fact that too many of us think God's love can be bought. So we worry, questioning if we are doing enough to please God. I've heard from more than a few of you wondering if you are doing enough, if you have enough faith. The Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, God has a soft spot for sinners. His standards are quite low. I wonder, what would you do differently in your life if you truly believe you're God's beloved child? If you do nothing to make God love you less or more than what God does right now.